What up, guys? I wanted to get at you today about how the narcissist, it's like they hate you, but they also won't let you go. Like when you're ready to go, they don't want to let you go. And, maybe you didn't know that, originally, but you kind of learned this over time. And this is part of what they're hiding from you. And part of what they're hiding from you is also like, of course, that they hate you. That's what they're hiding from you. But they know you have these great characteristics and this great character. And that's part of why they hate you. Because they envy you, and then that's why they get with you, because they envy you. They like your qualities, and they think that they could steal them from you, but then they at some point realize that they can't. But they can, kind of sometimes take it from you for a time, to a degree, because they can mimic it if they're around you long enough. It's kind of like they're chameleons, right? So they can shapeshift. They can mimic you. They can and take your energy, and they can use it for their benefit. And they can, by projecting onto you. And so, and then, they need you. Especially if you're like, I know everybody hates hearing grade A supply, but the fact of the matter is that's what you're called at this particular time. You're not when you wake up, when, you go from a target, you go from a target to a victim, to awakening, and then becoming a survivor and a thriver and a warrior. Okay. And so that's kind of the construct that we go through when we are on our way to understanding narcissism. But originally we're grade A. It is what it is. I've heard a lot of people say negative stuff about that, but it is what it is. Everybody uses that statement because it is what it is. But when you're grade A, they need you, and they know you can give it to them. They know you can fuel them. And when you fuel them, then you're going to fuel them with them getting all these other supplies, because you're fueling everything. That's why when they lose you, and if you're at the center of it, you're the root of their fuel, they're going to lose other supplies. And you also give them a stamp of approval. You give them a stamp of approval that they're honest, that they're hardworking, and they're looking like you. And you already got a stamp. When you live it, you got a stamp. When you're out there and people know you're good, because your character's good and you've been around them for a long time, and you bring narcissists around, they look good too. But they only look good because they're rolling off the back of you, and people are like, well, if she's with him, or if he's with her, for the female, then they gotta be good. I trust them. And that's kind of where you catch karma, because you're kind of giving them a false approval, and so that's where you reap a lot of their negativity, because you can't, you're lying, you're lying, and unbeknownst to knowing what people are originally seeing until you wake up. But they hate you, and they don't want to let you go. So a lot of times when you meet them, they tell you that nobody understands but you. They're kind of like a victim, right? And they're they act invulnerable and stuff, and a lot of times they are. Usually, sometimes they're defeated when they first meet you. So they, not always, but they love bomb you, and they tell you all these things about their exes that were horrible to them. And you're the one who understands them. That's great. But then, at some point you cross them, then they're devaluing you and telling you like you're the worst thing that ever happened. And they're hitting you with all these negative characteristics that you have, you attained and are built on, I guess. Which in all reality, a lot of it's projection, but we have the ability to go inside, so it does hurt. And when it's coming from a lover, you kind of want to address whatever they're saying. We're types that we want to better ourselves, a lot of times. Narcissist doesn't. So it does hurt us more. It hurts us a lot when you hear that from a lover, right? especially someone like a narcissist, because in the case of the narcissist, we give them everything. Typically, the empath gives them everything until they wake up. And so, when you start, kind of waking up to this, you start healing, and you take your emotions out of it, and then your mind and your will, you're taken out of it, and you're starting to take things back and get your power back. You might have gone supernova on them. And, you've seen that mask slip so much, and then you're waking up to all of these things, and you're starting to back away in gray rock, and then, you do the discard, right? And you start healing, and then what happens? They come back. They got to have you. They've changed or something, But the reason why they're hoovering you is because you're doing good. You're doing better. And it's not only that they need that energy, but they got to keep you down. They got to keep all their supply below them. Because God forbid you start doing better than them, then they become an inferior person. I mean, they've lost, and they can't lose. They just and that's what they do. They kind of get all these like supplies around town or whatever, and they'll date them for a while, and then they'll destroy them. The ones they need the most, the grade A supplies, they will destroy them the worst because they need them the most. So when they're away from them, they want them so destroyed, and in their mind, will, and emotions, and in their willpower, and they want them just to be able to just have enough energy to go to work and go home. They don't want them to talk to anybody, date anybody. They just want them to be a hermit, because they're coming back, and they don't want them to be taken away by anybody else. They can't lose that supply. So they destroy them the worst. The ones they need the most, they destroy the worst. And then they have these other supplies, and they'll be draining them, and then they'll come back to you. You're feeling better. And or if you're getting away from them, the reason why they knock you down so bad too is because they want you below them, and they want you to never leave. So if they can get your self-esteem way down, and you dependent on them, then you're gonna be anxious, sick, and dependent on them. Then they're gonna have an in-house supply. That's what they want. So they can just, have somebody destroy every day. But when you wake up and you start healing and stuff, and then they come back, and sometimes you could be dating somebody else at some point, and that makes them real jealous. And then you're looking better than them. You're looking like, you're doing well for yourself. So they're jealous. They need to have you now all of a sudden. Nobody else can have you. So God forbid you break up with that person that is actually doing good for you, and you go back to them. They're going to just stay with you a few months and destroy you again, and then you missed out on the relationship that you just broke up with the other person to get back with the narcissist, because they convinced you that it was a good idea, and you're maybe still dealing with a little trauma bond or something, and you hadn't healed enough. But so now you ruined that new relationship that was actually good for you, and the narcissist destroyed you again. And so these are things you got to watch out for, and this is what the narcissist loves to do, and they also do when you start healing and doing better for yourself, because they're the ones that set the gallop. They want you to be like in a horse race. They're the horse in the front. They're the one winning, right? And if you could picture all the other horses behind them are their supply, their harem, whatever, they're flying monkeys, the people that are in their life. The narcissist has to keep all of that supply behind them. They have to be the front runner at all times. You can never have supply doing better than them. And that's why if they meet you and you're doing way better than them, that's why they pull you down. I mean, it's one of the reasons. But they want you to be dependent also, all that stuff. And you know, it shows you that they hate you when they're pulling you back like that. They're pulling you back like that because they hate you, because they can't be you, and they desperately want to. And you don't have to rely on people. You can be alone. You could be a standalone if you need to be. But they can't. And they can't come out of it because they can never learn anything. You know, they can't, they're stuck. So they can't learn, can't heal, and they know this. All they can do is do what they're doing. They're cycles. It's cycles and getting new supply, you know, for the supply that runs out or the supply that gets old, that they don't, you know, they get bored with. But that's what they do. They get bored. So they run through a cycle, and whatever horse behind them, whatever supply in their harem, you know, or their harem garage. I mean, you can look at it however you want. A horse race, you got, you know, second place and is coming up. You know, the horse is galloping close to them. They got to hoover them back and destroy them and get them to the back of the line again. And that's what they do. And that's why they stalk. They're stalking because, yeah, they're running out of supply. Yeah, they're checking on you to see how well you're doing. But they're also checking on you to see if you're doing better than them, because they can't have that. Or to see if you're dating somebody, because they can't have that either. You know, there's a few things that will get you, you know, hoovered, you know, with pretty quick speed. Is if you're dating somebody, they really don't like that. And they don't want to lose you, and they don't want that person getting your supply, or having, you know, fun with you, making you smile, having sex with you, making love to you, and an actually truly good person. So, and it's their property, you're their property, so it's kind of like blasphemous to them that you're actually doing something like that. You know, you're trying to go rogue on me, and I'm the master. That's what they're thinking. You can't do that. I'm gonna come in, swoop you up, break up that relationship, and get my property back. So that's what they're gonna do. Then they're gonna get you back. You're gonna break up with that new person. They're gonna destroy you, leave you out in the damn mud, and then they're gonna go off to another one of their old harem supplies or a new one. But when you heal up and you start getting better, you start seeing that mask slip, and you start reflecting and mirroring back to them. That's what you're doing. When you're mirroring back, you're reflecting, man. You're reflecting themselves back to them. And if you can understand projection, you're gonna when they project that shit onto you, you're not gonna receive it because you're not emotional. You're gray rocking. You got your shields up. They say staying close to your frame. This is your frame. Stay close. Don't let your energy out. You know, when you get emotional, instead of, you know, just responding, all that energy's all out here. It's all out here, way out here, and they're sucking it up. They're sucking it up, and while they're sucking it up, their spirit, those devils in them, are throwing all that negative energy on you, and you're receiving it. But you got to believe it. And when you're emotional, you're believing it. And when you're emotional, your walls are all down. You're a city without walls, with an army coming at you. You won't last long, right? And that's what the narcissist does. So they project all that stuff on you. But you know, if you're keen, you've seen the mask slip, you start gray rocking. You don't get emotional with them. Because that's what they do. First, they hijack your emotions, and then your will and your mind go next. So when you start taking your power back, you take your emotions back first. You know. I mean, your mind, your will come too, but it's like those are the slower things that come, because your emotions come back first, because you're like, I'm not giving them. When you start realizing who the narcissist is, you know, I'm not falling for this trap anymore. I'm not, and you know, crying, tearing up, laughing, and anything but goodness, like laughing and stuff, is actually what they want. Anything but happy. They don't want happy because they don't know what to do with it. You can't be happy around them, because just you being happy around them is you superseding them. But they come to you not only because, you know, you have a good emotional supply, and, you know, and you may do well for yourself, but they know inside you're just a genuinely, you're an awesome person. And they're not. They know this. They know this so much more than you do. A lot of times, because you don't know your own worth, you don't know your own wealth, and you give it away too quickly and too easily. And sometimes, a lot of times, growing up in these families makes you kind of naive, and you don't understand. You don't have the tools that you need to deal with the narcissist, because you just didn't grow up under the right construct. You know, a lot of times you don't understand honing your intuition until after you've been destroyed a few times. You don't understand what the narcissist looks and walks and acts and talks like until you've been destroyed a few times, because a lot of times, you know, it was an everyday thing for you and you were enmeshed with it. You get Stockholm syndrome. But when you start really waking up to it, you start backing away from it, you start healing, you start not giving them any of your energy. You're not listening to their stupid words anymore. Those devaluing words, man, whatever. You hear that? You just look at them and say, whatever, man. That's fine. You can feel that way. If you feel that way, why do you even want to talk to me then? If I'm such a shitty person, right? Then why are you even here? Just leave. You know, just look at them funny. Or just be like, okay, that's what I am, fine, whatever, that's what you feel. You have your right to your thoughts. You know, fine. I mean, I have my own thoughts, and they ain't like that. And I'm not putting up with this anymore. You know? So you just don't give it to them. And you're uncovering everything that they've swept under the rug. Because their whole life they've been sweeping stuff under the rug, or it's the elephant in the room. And then when you start healing and getting away from them, you're basically uncovering what's been hidden under that rug for so long. And they start getting mirrored back to them how shitty they are. It's like when you're in a dark room, you can't clean up a dark room. You have to turn the lights on. When you turn the lights on, and maybe, you know, it's a trashed up room and you thought it was clean. Somebody told you it was a clean room. When you turn the lights on, you see how trashed up it is because they was lying to you. It's like, whoa. It's almost like turn the lights back off. Well, that's narcissists. I mean, they don't want to look at themselves. They want the lights off. And in the case of us, a lot of times we want the lights on because we do want to heal. A lot of times we've just been sidetracked for so long in so many different ways, gaslit. We don't like that. But yeah, so that's what they do, and they hate you, and while they're there, they want to also, it's like American Pickers, man. You know, those people on the History Channel. It's like when they go make deals with people at these antique shop stuff, they're like, hey, if I get a deal on this, I could sell it for double after I clean it up. Well, when they're with you, they get that same kind of like excitement and energy. It's like while they're with you, they're gonna be like, you buying them things and you taking them out to these nice dinners and stuff, and yeah, they're trading sex for whatever. Sex is free to them. That's how they look at it, and they're getting supply off that. So they're like, you know, they feel like they're getting these deals. They're getting shit for free while they're here, getting your energy and everything else. You know, might get some cool shoes and a handbag or nice meals and, you know, whatever. You know, they're making out like a bandit. So this is kind of how it is, man. And that's why they can never go inside, and that's why they're always, you know, continually going from one destructive relationship to the next, man. And they leave this dead and destructive path of all of these good individuals. Some of them end up in psych wards or killing themselves, committing suicide, God forbid, or dying of some, autoimmune disease, or losing everything they have because they destroyed them so bad. The person that they were with lost their job and their home and everything else. And this is why karma is always chasing them, and people hate them because they throw people under the bus, they lie about them, and they see that shit, man. People don't like that shit. After a while, you got a whole city full of people that hate your ass. You got to watch your back if you're the narcissist. And so, that narcissist shit ain't no like to live. They're miserable. They'll always be miserable, and it is what it is. Just heal up, gray rock, get your soul back, and move on. And they'll always stalk you because they can't believe you did what you did. You're the crabs in the bucket, but you're the crab that actually got out the damn bucket. Not many crabs do that. I'm gonna end this right here, but so just give me a like, thumbs up, a subscription, hit the like button, man. Come on. If you've been this long, hit the like button, please, man. And then I appreciate y'all, love y'all, soldier up, stand tall, peace out, love y'all.